grief is a small, innocent-looking word that holds within it so much pain, so much gravitas, so many different emotions.
Has anyone ever mentioned to you that your life can change in a split second? Yeah, many people mentioned that to me. Didn't really think too much about it, and then it happened. The pain and devastation and inability to function properly that happens after you lose a loved one is really hard to describe.
I remember one day I went for a run. It was a Friday. I was really upset with Hashem. I was really upset with him, and I was shouting at him on my run and just crying and saying, it's not okay. Like, you're not a sharer. This is not a way to share. Like, it's a partnership between me and my husband and you. And this, what is this? Like, how do you do this? This is not sharing, and you need to give them back, and you need to share. And then that same Friday night, I lit my Shabbos candles. And as I lit them, I realized, well, Hashem answered me. It's not Hashem that can't share, it's me. I remember the one night, I think it was that night that she had passed away, I went to her door and I just opened the door. And in a sense, I knew this could be the last time I ever say goodnight to my mom, and the last time I ever say, I love you.
There's no meaning in a horrible death or in a pandemic or in a wedding being canceled or a job being lost. The meaning isn't in the horrible event. The meaning is in us. It's what we find afterwards.
Avelis, mourning, is a shrunken consciousness where the world closes in on you and you are beaten down and locked into a small head. And therefore, the mitzvah of comforting person is simply to be there to help, giving them opportunity to expand out of their boundaries. You sit there simply as an opportunity for them to relate outside of themselves.
Shaul took off the pictures in the house when I came in. But I didn't like that, because I was like, you don't need to take the pictures off. We're not ready for that stage. I didn't feel in my heart like I can't have these pictures. But I wasn't like I should or shouldn't. I just was like, no, we don't need to make such. It didn't look to me like we have to make those changes. That was not what was important to me.
Yes.
To me, what was important is that we build a connection, and we start to build just a nice home.
Our sages tell us on the pasuk, the first pasuk, which speaks about the consolation, the comfort that God gives to the Jewish people. We have 7 haftorahs of comfort and consolation. And the one that we all aware of, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Yomar Elekechem. The Navi says that God comes to console the Jewish people.
So please be young with your friends. At the same time, don't be frightened of your grief. The only way out of grief is through grief. Life after grief is a little bit like a snakes and ladders game. You imagine going from 0 to 100, and each time you're dicing, and you are climbing ladders and you're sliding down snakes. And throughout, it's a little bit like that. Sometimes the ladders are really great ladders. We've made huge strides in our grief. And sometimes the stakes are really tiny. It could be an anniversary, a yacht site, an important day, where we feel ourselves slipping back into our grief.
In my mind, we human beings all know how to grieve. We know how to mourn. We know how to go through pain. We have that wisdom inside of ourselves. It's programmed within us. It's part of life.
Resilience is usually defined as like going back to who you were. Like somebody said to me, oh, you have to find a new, after the death of your son, you had to find a new normal. And I said, no, I had to find a new extraordinary, because normal would not have taken me anywhere.
Yeah.
So to find that place of creativity it enlarges you. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing it from your neshama, if you're doing it from a deep place, and my definition of resilience is becoming greater, that instead of shrinking from the tragedy, you're actually expanded as a result of it.